Albert's really he's set the gauntlet, hasn't he? Look at this, 37.2. Wilco coming across the line. It's only good enough for third. Well, around there's been action aplenty, and we haven't even got through the first lap. Wolfie, what is going on?
As far as I can tell, Albert and Matterford had an issue coming through the straight. Someone's gone around there. It's still Glenn and Jason and Cardi that are first, second and third. Everyone else seems to be okay. There was another spin at the back there, which I think might have been Voodoo. I'm just trying to wait for everything to update. Then we'll all be on the same track.
There we go. So Jason Wilkinson started third, now up to second, putting all sorts of pressure on the big unit in Glen Regis, and can't do 2 seconds further back. My battle at the front. It is our championship leader who is now in the lead. In the lead, he's got the lead from Glenn. And can Glenn have a go at him here to get that lead back, Wolf?
It's a long straight. Oh, that is late break. Oh, he's nearly tagged Wilco. He's trying to come around the outside. He's dropped a bit of time there, so it's going to take him a lap to pick up. But it's only a short race, so there's 15 minutes to go. So he's really got to get on them. There's no time to sit back and just try and work your way through. You've really got to go for it.
The field. And Cartu now is ahead of Glenn. Breaking news from the top three. 93. Wow. And Cartu now up into second. And Glenn, our championship contender, has gone off in the same place. Look at this, Wolfie. The same place that Righty went off, and now Binger is off. But what a delicious career that was. But less than 2 minutes. How many laps have we got left, please, Wolf?
Be 2, maybe 3, depending on how quick these boys are.
And there's contact. Oh, no.
He's tagged him.
Contact, so they've tagged each other, and Cartoon's into the lead. Will he readdress?
No, Wilco's got...
And it all comes down to this. Sam Mahoney, Plum Boss, Big Shep having a frothy. Can't readdress there, and Wilco down the inside. They touch. Cartoon, he's going to put it down the inside now, and Wilco, we've only got 2 corners to go. They touch again. One is off the circuit, a bit of traffic involved as well, but it's going to come down to the final corner. Can Wilco, it's going to be a sprint.
No.
It's going to be a dead heat. Look at this. Wilco, who's finished the race. Oh my God, what a race.
That is amazing. Just amazing.
And somebody there flying through, I think it might have been Voodoo working some black magic, but wow, Cartu getting home in the end, but by the skin of his nutsack. What a finish to race 1, Wolf. We're on to world record times, but 36.3, 1.3 seconds ahead of the next man, if you don't mind. There's shades of a bit of Ayrton Senna about this man.
He's had enough.
Wow, 1.3 seconds, just setting the time to beat for the start. And Matterford, look at that, Matterford up to P2.
Oh, nice work, Matty. That is something. That is, I'll let you call it.
Hello and welcome to another KRL Hot Lap of the Week. Here we are, we've had a week break, all refreshed and ready for the second half of the season. So here we are at Imola. We've had some wet practice, so I thought let's do a wet volley hot lap here. So here we are, into turn 1, still hitting about 265 k's an hour. Smash down the brakes, nice and smooth down. Take the inside curve, take the next inside curve, no issue here. Play with throttle gears, be careful, pretty easy to get the high speed through there. Rear wheels on the brake wires, and you're going to brain snacking down the fourth. Try and keep a smooth entry there with the steering looks very light. And then don't take too much curve like that, you'll get sideways. But again, more rear wheels on the brake wires, just so you don't knock the bum. Late apex here, really square off the corner. Watch the throttle control. Once you get to about 80%, that's the throttle. The wet tyres actually do have a fair bit of room, so not too bad around here in the wet. As long as you're not aquaplaning. Here we go, into this corner. Easy on the throttle. Too much, too eager. On the curve, very too eager. You gotta be careful because you keep it off to the right. So really use the curve there, try and break in a straight line. Use the inside curve again. Don't hit that outside. We are into one of the trickiest corners on the track. Oh, sorry, we're in cut car. Curves, no issue here. So just fly over these curves like nothing's there. Bang, bang, get your heart out. GD3 cars. Here we go. Exit the chicane there. No real wheels from the roll. You can leave it in fifth. Probably a bit safer. The inflection is just about flat through there. Brake nice and deep in the second. Don't turn in too hard, you will lose rear. Little square of the throttle. Leave it in second. Stay off the inside curve. It should be a nice smooth run down the front straight. It should be about a 1-1 in the wet conditions. If it's dry, expect a 1:43 for pole in these cup cars. But other than that, I'm hoping it's a wet race and it's really cool. So hope you enjoy it. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Welcome to the Good Buyers YouTube channel, home of motorsport.
Welcome to KRL. In your screen at the one time. Oh no! Look at this! Harvey Norman looking to make moves on Mighty Murph, but I reckon Barnes is going to make him pay.
Hello, welcome to another KRL hot lap of the week. Here we are, we've had a week break, all refreshed and ready for the second half of the season. So here we are at Imola. We've had some wet practice, so I thought let's do a wet quality hot lap here. So here we are, into turn one, still hitting about 265 k's now. Smash down the brakes, nice and smooth down. Take it to the curve, take the next inside curve, no issue here. Play with the throttle here, be careful, pretty easy to get the high speed through there. Rear wheels on the brake wires, then you're going to brake, snacking down the fourth. Try and keep a smooth tension there because the steering foot's very light. And then don't take too much curve like that, you'll get sideways. But again, more rear wheels on the brake wires just so you don't knock the bump. Late apex here, really square off the corner. Watch the throttle control. Once you get to about 80%, that's the control. The wet tyres actually do have a fair bit of grip, so not too bad around here in the wet. As long as you're on active lane, here we go, into this corner. Easy on the throttle. Too much, too eager, on the curve, very too eager. You've got to be careful with the curves here, keep it off to the right. So really use the curve there, try and brake in a straight line. Use the inside curve again, don't hit that outside. We are into one of the trickiest corners on the track. Oh, sorry, we're in cup car. Curves, no issue here, so let's just fly over these curves like nothing's there. Bang, bang, hit your heart out. GD3 cars, get better. Here we go, exit the chicane there, no real rules at all. You can leave it in fifth, probably a bit safer in the conditions, just about flat through there. Brake nice and deep in a second. Don't turn in too hard, you will lose rear. Little square of the throttle. Leave it in second. Stay off the inside curve. It should be a nice smooth run down the front straight. It should be about a 1-1 in the wet conditions. If it's dry. Expecting 143 for pole in these couple cars. But on that, I'm hoping it's a wet race and it's looking good. So hope you enjoy it.
Welcome to Kid Buyers YouTube channel, the home of Facebook.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. We're back for the second night running to continue round 6 of this KRL Championship. And tonight it's time for Tier 1 action here from the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. We are 40 kilometres east of Bologna in northern Italy as I welcome the great man, Wolfie. Coming off a points finish myself, of course, in last week's social race. It's not easy to do, Wolfie, but buongiorno, ciao, how are you going?
Mate, I'm very, very well, and it's nice to be here this evening. I'm looking forward to these guys racing. I managed to quickly get home from work and leap on last night for Tier 2 and failed dramatically with 2 laps to go, but I'm looking forward to these guys running the circuit.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We've had a week off. It is great to be back. And this circuit, one of the old school circuits, Wolfie, it's been through some changes over the years, but a real driver's circuit, a power circuit traditionally over the years. But it's one of those tracks, Wolfie, there's not much in the way of runoff areas. And if you do get it wrong here, you're going to be staring at a gravel trap, grass. It's one of those old school ones that we love.
It is. As we were talking before we came on air about how they've added variant Tamburello, and I think we were talking about Villeneuve. But it used to be that straight run from the Rivazza all the way up to the left-hand hairpin. But the two little, I guess, you can't, I guess they are chicanes, but that sort of splits them up and gives everybody a decent run.
So 20-minute qualifying session. We've joined a little bit later on due to some technical difficulties. We apologise for that. Followed by a 45-minute race, and Voodoo says, good to hear Wolfie in his element, and boy, oh boy, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic night. 19 corners here, and I think we're also saying off air that the old chicane that used to be before the start-finish straight is still used by the motorbikes when they come here and race. Host of the San Marino Grand Prix, of course, from 1981 to 2006, and more recently, Wolfie, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Due to COVID, of course, we came here last year in the F1, and also hosting round 2 of this championship. Now, speaking of championships, Wolfie, the points. We are missing one of our main championship contenders here, but Jason Wilkinson on top. Look at that, 105 points to start the second half of this season. Bit of a handy lead, quite a handy lead over Glenn on 66. Manafort alongside him also on 66 apiece. Cart Dude on 53. Always a bit of banter between Wilco and Cart Dude. Barter's on 48, 47 for Prince Albert. And the Spaniard on 47 points. OGT on 40 points. Doing some nice stuff in both Tier 2 and Tier 1. My Bingerling. Oh, I want you to play with my Bingerling there in 8th. 22 for Messick and the rest of them. And let me tell you, it is very close in the Constructors' Championship, Wolfie. because we've got Triple Biscuit Motorsport. It sure is. Let me take you through it. It's 132 points for Triple Biscuit Motorsport, and then Send It Racing on 124. It gets a lot less interesting after that, but first and second. So we've got a pretty close battle in both championships, Wolf. But Jason, geez, he's got another opportunity here to extend this championship lead. And he could almost get it to over 25 points tonight, and that's pretty handy coming into the second half of the season.
Oh, race win ahead is fantastic. With Glenn being out, I think he said Matterfield was right up behind him. Everyone's got a chance tonight. We're looking at 11. We've got 10 in the field at the moment, so everyone's due for a point. And that's going to change a lot of the positioning on the board as well.
So that is going to mix things up. 10 people are watching tonight. Don't be shy out there. Get those comments coming in. And I've got to say, it felt like a very, very long 2 weeks, but we are back. KRL Round 6, live and exclusive here. And like we said, 20-minute qualifying session, followed by the 45-minute race. As let's just have a look at these comments. We've got Come On Jace and Tessa there. Big fan of this man. And the timing absolutely perfect as we see that man on pole position, a 1 minute 44 flat. Now 2/10 ahead of Albert at the moment as Jesus Ridey and OGT with the same time.
Oh, look at that.
That is incredible. Shades of Jerez in 97. Who could forget that? The championship decider many years ago, but it doesn't get much closer than that. 19 corners. And absolutely nothing in it at the end of it there, Wolfie. This is going to be very close. Same as last night, very close in that midfield.
Yeah, I noticed too that the pre-practice Wilco came up with a 144 something or other, so he's right on the pace. Albert was down. Binger was he's now 4/10 off or 5/10 off. He was down in the midfield in the practice. There seems to be a lot of guys struggling with the Porsche around here.
It's a very tricky car. We've seen that in the past. Of course, Voodoo is not racing tonight, is he? He's the safety car, I believe. So he's waiting on the button there if he's required. We do have a yellow flag out. No, it's gone green again. But track temperature 23 degrees as we take a look at Manafort, the man who's equal second in the Drivers' Championship tonight. He'll be looking for a good result as he comes down to the Ravazza. Named Ravazza, but it's sort of a couple of corners there, isn't it? As he comes out of that now, and then the long run down to the Tamburello chicane, followed by the Villeneuve chicane before the Tosa hairpin. And very nicely done indeed. Manafort up to P4, and still 0.8 of a second off. Oh, that's very close. I was looking at Manafort there, and he's almost knocked off my Bengerling as he was coming back out of the pits for a second run, but doesn't get much closer than that. Ridey up in 7th there, like we said, setting the same time as OGT. But I'm guessing because he set that time first, he's probably just pipped OGT to 7th as we take a look at Nobby Nuts Racing. So a slightly smaller field tonight. Like you said, Wolfie, though, everybody with a chance of points if they can just keep it nice and clean and on the road. As we take a look at Nobby Nuts then, down in 9th position, Aussie Thunder in the pits along with Voodoo. And look at that very nice Aston Martin safety car. And what are the chances of seeing that tonight? We don't see it a lot in Tier 2, Wolfie. Very clean, very respectful driving. But these Tier 1 boys, we've seen it before this season in Tier 1.
I'd be surprised if we don't have a safety car here because these boys are trying very hard. That first corner, what do we call it? The Tamburello. You get such speed going into there. There's a feeling, you always feel like you can come up the inside and brake just a little bit later and get in there a little bit earlier than the driver behind you. But it's a tough track to pass on. There's Tosa, which is the hairpin if you get that right. Ravazza 1, which we were talking about before, which is you come through the chicane at the Variante Alta and you sort of roll around down the hill. And it's downhill, a little bit off camber, hard left. You can try and get in underneath there, or you can dive underneath there and then get nailed. So it's as someone did last night. Jason
having a bit of a moment there. I think he might still have us on mute.
143.5.
And no wonder that meant that it was a 1:43.5, fully understandable, 0.7 of a second ahead of one of my, I'm a big fan of this man, Albert, but 0.7 of a second ahead of Albert and almost a second, Wolfie, ahead of Binger. That sends a message to the rest of the field that Jason is here to play. He's still going in the background there.
Yeah, look, and after the tyre wear's not too bad here. However, you lose about a second after 10 to 12 laps. But if Wilco's lapping a second faster in race pace, it means that he'll be able to get in and out of a pit and not lose a position, or at least lose a couple that will be replaced when the second and third place come in. So it's going to be an interesting field as we get started.
As Wilco.
Come on, we got some interference here. I don't know what's going on.
Don't call us, we'll call you. My biggest supporter helping me go fast. A big hello to Tessa who jumped into the stream, left a comment. Great to have you with us. And Voodoo saying, pretty insane lap for the Cup car. He was only 8 tenths quicker in the GT3 last night. And we know Voodoo knows how to work that GT3 Ferrari. 1:43.5. Can't quite see anybody getting close to that, not at this stage at least. But with less than 8 minutes to go in qualifying, anything can happen, and it usually does in racing, as we all know. Now, my next question, Wolfie, you don't know, I don't know, what is going to happen with the weather tonight? That is a mystery around here. It's going to be interesting.
There's a bit of a rumour about a wet race. It seems to be... I mean, there's always a bit of to and fro about wet racing anyhow, because of the way that these lobbies are set up. The way that Jason's has set the lobby up is that it's random, so we don't know. However, we've not had a wet session at all yet, so surely the numbers must mean that eventually we're going to get this wet session. Obviously, it's not now. It's very overcast and it's very cold, no wind. So as Martin Brundle would say, it's great to watch a wet race from up here and not actually down there. So I must admit, I am hoping for a bit of dampness.
Yes, me too. And I've got to say, a bit like Alan Jones, he used to always want a bit of a wet race, didn't he? Who could forget Bernie? Bernie Eccleston wanted to put sprinklers around the circuit as well at one stage.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
To make it a little bit more exciting, you know. And Binger back in the pit lane, he had a moment, but has someone else gone off? Let's just have a look here. I've got
Albert's picked up another 2 tenths on Jay.
And Albert now, is he going to get close to Mr. J? He's 5 tenths further back now, and he is absolutely on it. He's absolutely flying through the Tamburello chicane, through the Gilles Villeneuve chicane. The only man with a statue out the front of Maranello, I believe, Wolfie. So very, the Ferrari...
A Canadian got a statue out the front?
Certainly did, and Albert.
Oh,
there's a Spaniard.
That's not gone well.
There's a Spaniard spinning, and he is not going any further on this lap. Yellow flags out at the Tosa hairpin. Nobby Nuts for the Hot Nuts Racing concern has gone through cleanly, but I don't think that's going to ruin anybody else's hot laps. My Bingerling, and well, it's an interesting question. That's that time of Jason Wilkinson's a 1:43.5. What's going through the drivers' heads as Binger? Has he had another moment there? He's gone off.
Yeah, Binger's gone around at Villeneuve. No, Tamburello. Oh, no, beg your pardon. He's gone around at Villeneuve.
The Villeneuve chicane heading into the Tosa. The Italian cameraman has not quite caught up to that, but he's got... it's not quite... There we go, Binger. He has now. And Mamma Mia.
He's gone off track just before Tosa as well, so he's having a struggle.
OGT in the pits. Barters, where is he? Down in P6 at the moment. Here he comes into the Acqua Minerale, which used to be another chicane there, I think. But Barters coming up the hill, heading up towards the Variante Alta in this corner. It's always been a bumpy one, hasn't it? You've got to watch your entry into this corner. Very high curbs. You can see that there. Doesn't take too much to put the car off and end up in that wall on the left-hand side, which is what Fernando Alonso did, I think, in the Minardi a long, long time ago. But Barters now coming down to the Ravazza, and also a tricky to get your braking point right here, but he's done it. As someone GRT wants to know, is the safety car full of fuel? Because we might need it a little bit later on. But Barters now Barters as he comes across the line. Currently in P6, he's got Manafort behind him, and is he going to go quicker? No, or he could be starting a hot lap, I beg your pardon, as he comes across 1.7 seconds off of pole position. And Jason, he's still out there, as Voodoo responding back to GRT saying, I've got 66.6 litres of fuel. There's that number again, 666.
Oh, no.
Number of the beast. It's got to be something to do with Voodoo, as Jason Wilkinson taking a fair bit of curb there. I think that's all above board, but he's still on it. But surprisingly, he's got that 143.5 with less than 4 minutes to go. Wolfie, you might not think he's safe here from Prince Albert in second, but that gap's still half a second here.
Well, the 143 lap, so there might be, where's Albert now? He's still on circuit. So he's maybe got another 2, depends on how much fuel he's decided. If he decides to bug out, hit the pits, he'll get a out and a hot, maybe 2 hots after that. But this is quite the field. I've not seen it this spread out. So there's something about this circuit that's upsetting these guys. And these Porsches can ride the curbs particularly well. It's the high orange... They call them sausages. You can see them on the inside of the corners there. You can ride a certain amount of the curb. Once you hit those sausages, if you don't hit them straight, it will quite literally either throw the front of the car up or the back of the car up, depending on what you hit. But if you nail them straight, like at the end of the top of the hill chicane, and you come out of there, straighten up and gun it, you'll be fine. I'm interested to see what will happen in the wet weather, because as always, the painted markings will cause much trouble.
As they always do, of course, and we see that in Monaco and other various circuits around the world. Once it starts raining, you need to be careful when you're riding the sausage curbs, because otherwise, if you don't nail that, you are going to be spinning off in a big way. Albert then, still 0.5 of a second off of provisional pole position time. This is a very spread out field. I know, Albert, he's not having a great time there. There's a magnet for anyone Spanish in that Porsche after the Tosa hairpin, and maybe he's not welcome. Not quite the same reception that he gets at Catalunya, maybe, who knows? But Albert now coming down to the Acqua Minerale here at the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, named after the great man Enzo Ferrari and his son Dino. I think that was his name. I'm not sure, but Albert coming up now, and 0.5 of a second off. He's got probably another crack at this, another chance to come back around. And Nemo says, I'm not going to bed yet, because this stream is absolutely fantastic. And I've got to say, I agree with you, along with OGT says, Sweat Festival incoming. And Voodoo OG has set himself up for a solid race. P5 for OGT. Look out for him, Wolfie, in the race.
It's interesting because even the qualifying times is obviously different fuel, different weights, and in a lot of cases a different setup. So they're super quick doing that. Because there are no points at present, I don't know about the seasons coming, because there's no points for qualification. That's really not a thing, but you really want to try and get as far ahead as possible, because in general there is carnage down the back of the field. It seems to be that you when you get used to running laps by yourself and you find a braking point, which for argument's sake is 50 metres, if someone's right in front of you and brakes at 50 metres, you've got to brake at 51 or 52. So there's that confusion there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The times are pretty slow towards the back of the field, though, which is quite unusual for these guys. So must be a bit of struggle trying to set up whether you want the speed for these 2 long sort of straight fast bits, or and similar to Spa, where you're trying to just get that cornering ability and hopefully you can get in and out fast enough to get that speed up.
It's all about the setup, isn't it, really, Wolfie? Like you said, it is. Do you go for that pace, maybe a bit quicker through the chicanes in the middle part of this lap, or the middle sector? But we are out of time. Who are we riding with now? Kart Dude has gone full Albon there, backwards into the pits, and he's out of the session. Good luck, fellas. Going to be intense, says OGT. Let's hope so for our sake up here. Wolfie, Voodoo, how have you been? Nemo, keeping well? We'll let them keep chatting away, will we? I think I'm going to jump out soon, Wolf. But anyway, we'll just see who else is. I think we're done, aren't we? Everyone's in the pit lane.
Pretty much. That's it. Everyone's in the pit lane, except for Wilco. Obviously, he decides he needs another couple laps because he's not going fast enough. But that is, it's 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds top to bottom.
There we go. So 3.249 seconds separating first down to Nobby Nuts for Hot Nuts Racing down there in 11th. Wilco having a bit of fun out there on the circuit like he was doing last night. He had to get that safety car out and do some donuts. And we know it was good, Wilco. We've been hearing all about it through our open microphone here. That Italian director has not been very subtle indeed, but there we go. We're going to have to keep moving here, but Wilco is on pole position, continuing his dominance in Tier 1, 1:43.527. And there we have it, Albert in second, and the rest of them. We are going to a quick word from our sponsors before we come back for round 6, Tier 1, here at the Autodromo, Enzo e Dino Ferrari, round 6 of KRL. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to Goodbye's YouTube channel, home of Facebook.
Welcome to KRL. In your screen at the one time. Oh no! Look at this! Harvey Norman looking to make moves on Mighty Murph, but I reckon Barnes is going to make him pay. And he sticks it down the moment. Cartoon almost sends Wilco off, but Wilco manages to keep his foot in the championship. But the new boy up to P5. Look at that, he's trying to break the slipstream on the main straight. But he is under pressure here. Great effort from Static Hats first, second, third, fourth, and fifth all together. He's got a run on him. Is he going to make a move down into turn one? I reckon he is. Down the inside, he's basically fully sending it.
Coming along the straight.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost ready to go racing here at Imola. It's Jason Wilkinson, Albert alongside him. It's going to be a hectic start. We are almost ready to go here in this one. Round 6, the mid-season break is over. We're almost back racing, and it is, we're waiting for it, Are you ready for it?
It's a long run. It's a long run.
It's a long one. I think we're going to almost go down to that bridge down there, I reckon. But good night, Nemo. Nemo, don't leave us just yet. You're about to miss out on plenty of action. The Universal Boss gets us underway, and it's go, go, go here, and Albert gets the better start ahead of Wilco as they all stream down to Tamburello for the first time, but it is Wilco holding the lead. Albert goes down on the inside. They almost touch, but Albert slots into second place. Binger stays in third. I think everyone's away cleanly. And look at this. Albert has a bit of a cheeky look down the inside. You're not going to get through there. And Wilco, has he made a mistake, Wolfie? Oh, no. And he has a slight moment coming down, and he's around. And Wilco and Albert and Matterford is off as well. Hectic start here.
Going to need a safety car. There's a big accident at Tosa. Another 4 cars out.
Safety car.
Safety car.
Safety car. That gives me a chance to get the graphics up, which don't seem to be working. But anyway, somebody call Voodoo because he's left the party. This is serious. This is serious. Safety car
Voodoo's
deployed.
Made the call. That was big. So that looks like it was Albert, Jason, and maybe Messick that got in a little bit of strife in the first corner. And then after everybody started coming in and trying to get through into Tosa, it all went pear-shaped in a very, very big hurry.
And
so as far as I can tell, there's 7 cars that are involved in that.
Yep, you can see the damage, can't you? Jason's got some damage. Let's take a look at Albert. Meanwhile, Binger inherits the race lead. And Big Tim McKenzie says, geez, they can learn a thing or two from Tier 2 about clean driving. We said that, didn't we? We had nothing really happen in Tier 2. And then tonight, the Tier 1 boys... that's where it's all kicked off. But Jason, they're down in P6, but we do have a safety car. We might try and pick up Voodoo.
Binger's gone into the pit. Barters has gone into the pit.
Very interesting there. I don't think...
Okay, well, pitting under safety car is going to get rid of that mandatory pit stop. It's obviously slower to do it. I don't know where the safety car is. I'm just waiting for Messick to pick up the safety car.
I think Voodoo is just out onto the track. Wilco, we can hear everything you're saying.
Yeah.
But Voodoo now...
So Barters is coming up behind the safety car now, Trev.
So
sorry, Messick. I beg your pardon, Messick.
So Messick inherits the race lead. Wow, we're barely 3 minutes in, and we've seen nothing but carnage. And
Messick is the only one that is not in the pits.
And, well, it's an interesting one. He certainly is, isn't he? Along with Voodoo, of course, who's driving that safety car, the Nigerian Prince, in his Aston Martin. But not sure the reason behind Messick staying out. I'm sure there's a method to his madness, as that microphone's still getting. If that Italian director could kindly close off that mic feed, that would be fantastic. But it is. Well, what have we got here? Let's just recap. Let's take a breath, Wolfie, because Messick leads, then Binger. And Barter's right behind him, so everyone else in the pit lane, and it's going to take a while to repair that damage. You can see Nobby Nuts behind him, behind Wilco, of course, Matterford, and well, so we're pretty much going to have a full reset, aren't we? Which is exactly what the safety car is meant to do.
And well, exactly. The interesting thing of this is now that everyone has pitted except for Messick, so this will essentially turn out to be 38 or 9 minutes sprint race. No breaking it up halfway between with a pit stop, so these boys are going to be sweating. But having spoken to Jason and a couple of other lads, after about 10 laps you start to drop a second off your time, and it's probably going to turn out to be a good race once they all bunch up. Righty's got himself a looks like a pit lane penalty.
And Righty has fallen foul again. I'm guessing, I don't know, but I'm guessing that's for speeding.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Potentially, because we saw a couple of drivers last night get caught out for that. GRT says, sorry, I missed it. Missed early pit stops tonight. Is it early pit stops tonight? Sorry, I beg your pardon. Yep, it certainly is. All the drivers. Now Messick comes in and... well, I'm not sure whether this is going to work out for Messick because where is he going to... He's probably going to fall well down the field here. So, but then again, I guess he's decided to stay out doing something a little bit differently. And he's decided to take a risk there. Not sure whether it's going to pay off. But like we said, he's doing his own thing. Voodoo then is waiting for the first of our other drivers. And I think they're coming around the Ravazza corners at the moment. So how long
the
are we going to...
field is starting to pick up. I reckon we've probably got one more lap.
One more lap, I reckon. I think...
maybe two, but I think one.
I think from Binger down to Wilco, I think, who's just coming up to the Variante Alta there at the top of the hill. So I reckon you're spot on, Wolf. One more lap, I reckon, potentially. I'm sure Voodoo has left the party, of course, so he's not in the party at the moment, because I think he needs to go to the game chat so he can talk with these drivers whilst he is out on the track.
All right, so we've got Binger and Barters. OGT's going to roll up in the third. I'm not sure where Messick's going to filter out. He won't be too far off the pace, I would think. So we've got, so Binger, Barters, Messick has starting to come out of the pits now. I'll keep an eye on that, Trevor, if you want to keep an eye on what's happening behind the safety car.
Yep, so Voodoo now. We'll get back to this safety car. Voodoo controlling the pace, of course. It's a bit... a little bit different from the, forget what safety car we had out here many years ago in the infamous race in 94. Might have been a Ford Opel or a Ford Focus or something. I can't quite remember, but certainly wouldn't go as quick as what Voodoo's going. But who could forget the famous scenes of Eton Centre, of course, trying to get the safety car to go faster. And there we have it. But Voodoo is in the safety car tonight. Binger is our race leader. Barters behind him. You can see most of the field. You can see the track map in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. I think we've got a couple left at the back there, but they are catching up at a rapid rate of knots. And all
Messick
the while...
spun on the way trying to catch up, so he spun on the way trying to get to the back of the field.
And so
this puts...
I think we might...
this should be it.
Voodoo, I reckon Voodoo's going to have to make a call here, I reckon. We've got, what have we got, 10 or 11, 10 out of the 11 drivers. Wolfie, I reckon Voodoo might
I think he's going to have to call it.
Yep.
I think this is going to have to be it, mate.
I think Voodoo is getting ready to come in. I'm not sure. He's got a bit of a gap there, hasn't he, now, on our first place man, Binger. So I'm guessing that Voodoo will be coming into the pits, and he's made a bit of a decision on that. We do have a yellow flag out somewhere, but I think we're almost ready to get back underway. And all the while, Wolfie, that time is still ticking, isn't it? So basically now we've had a full reset, and we are back to 37 minutes of action. Voodoo's back. We are ready to go racing once again. It is go for a second time. And it is a drag race down to turn one. Binger leads from Barters. OGT in third. Wow, who could have predicted this at the start of the race? It's Binger, then Barters, then OGT. We did say he was well placed from fifth on the grid, and now he's up to third. Great stuff from OGT. Aussie Thunder, the quiet achiever there, has Prince Albert for company. And Prince Albert right behind him. Don't make the same mistake twice, Albert. That's where it all went wrong in the opening lap of this race. But Nobby Nuts, the field bunched up now. And Wilco all the way down in ninth. Right behind Matterford, Wolfie, and with plenty of work to do in the next 36.5 minutes of this race.
Yeah, he's got plenty of work to catch up. He's got a lot of people to pass. Tyres will still be cold, so these will be a tentative lap. They'll take a lap and a half roughly to get up to temp. So I think by the time we're here next time, the tyres should be all well lit up and ready to rock. But again, this has now become a 36-minute sprint race, essentially. As
Cart Dude's off. Cart Dude spears off the circuit. And just coming out of the Aqua Minerale there, I thought he hit a marshal there for a second. He was waving the white flag. So, Cart Dude. And Messick's around again. So we've got Carnage at the back. I'll tell you what, you want to give these blokes a few driving lessons, I reckon. Wolfie, if you've got a bit of spare time there. But yellow flag's out. Cart Dude is out, I reckon. He is out of the race. And that's Cart Dude done for the day. But you need a bit of patience, don't you, Wolf? I reckon after these safety car restarts, the tyres are cold, the drivers are a little bit frustrated given what's happened at the start. They're itching to go racing again, and you just need to be patient. And it's interesting to see now Jason Wilkinson up to 7th. So he's doing quite nicely already on the first lap of this restart. But it's different. It's going to be a tough race for that man, Wolfie, because It's easy when you're at the front, isn't it? You can set the pace, you can streak away off into the distance, but once you're involved in something, you're back down in the field. It's a lot different from being out at the front, and that's something that Jason Wilkinson hasn't done a lot of this season, has he? He's been used to being out at the front and controlling things.
Yeah, and the thing about this particular safety car was that everyone was wound up and they got going. They didn't have time to settle in to the first part of the race. So this is essentially a second, well, it's a second obvious race start, but they hadn't got far enough into the race, 5-10 laps, to settle in, get a groove, understand what's happening with the temperature and tyres and all that sort of stuff. They hit it. Adrenaline's up, everything's pumping, boom, you've got to slow down. You spend three laps going slow, and you've got to get on it again. You haven't done a lot of laps, so be interesting to see how these lads hold on tonight.
So 10 drivers still running here at Imola for round 6 of this championship, which means if everybody finishes like they are now, everybody will score a championship point. As Voodoo saying the track is fast, looks like it'll be dry for the remainder of this race. And if we've got an incident,
gone off.
And Aussie Thunder, I think it was, has he gone off?
Ravazza,
so he's had a bit of a moment there, and Albert now has gone through, and so has Wilco. So Wilco is just streaming through the field. I beg your pardon, it's Matterford ahead of Wilco, of course. So P5 and P6, disappointing for Aussie Thunder. We hadn't called his name too much in this race. He had been keeping to himself, doing very nicely, but it doesn't take much. That is a tricky corner, the Ravazza, of course. As 11 people watching, please get your comments coming in. Don't forget, we need to vote for Driver of the Day as well a little bit later on in this race. But let's recap. It's been action-packed. Action, of course, in the opening 5 laps. We've only done 5 laps. And we've only gone for 12 minutes.
It's 33 minutes to go. We've had two accidents, 7 out of the field. 7 cars out of the field came back into the pits with damage after the first lap. 3 laps of safety car, and we're back into it. It'll be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Still a long way to go, of course. 32 minutes remaining. Do not go anywhere. Don't adjust your sets. And Binger still leading this race, but that gap, half a second there. Barta's in second, who's doing very nicely as well. Prince Albert from Spain in third. Fourth for OGT. Matterford is in fifth there. Jason Wilkinson, as we know, behind him on the comeback drive. Aussie Thunder. Let's have a look at Aussie Thunder. Let's see how he negotiates the Ravazza this time around, Wolf. And a little bit sheepish there, a little bit cautious as you'd expect. But, looking very nicely indeed. Safety car, driver of the day, says GRT. Oi, GRT. And great stuff, GRT. Great to have you with us, mate. Fantastic man, as they all are here as part of the KRL family. Voodoo getting the votes. He's getting all the votes so far, but don't forget, still half an hour left in this race. A lot of racing left to go.
You might want to catch up to the front 3, Trev, just saying.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. And Binger. Great stuff there, Wolfie, because look at this. Bartas and Binger, the 2 Bs, going at it with Albert, not too far behind them. They touch heading into the Tosa hairpin. I think we called it Tosser before the stream off air, because that's what Binger will be saying to Bartas at the moment as Cartoon's off to play FIFA. None of that wog shit here. As let's have a look at this. Let's look at Binger. Binger, he's staying in it here. He is not, look at this. Neither driver giving an inch, and Bartas is going to win out here, Wolf.
Yep, there's ugliness. There's a lot of ugliness coming through. They're going up the hill now. There it is, too wide up into the chicane. 2x2. Binger's got been taken over. Sorry,
Matterford. Matterford, was he making a move as well? Oh, he Jesus. Was. Oh, no, let's have a look here, because Bartas now leads this race, and Binger's off. And, wow, Nobby Nuts race. He is well down the field, so our race leader who led this race.
Jason's tagged Albert.
Jason is off as well. He's tagged Albert. Well, Oh, so I'll tell you what, we're going to have to send these boys back to Vic Roads, I think, or wherever, because they need to get their licence fixed up, that's for sure, because what on earth is going on? Nobody with their 120 hours here, Wolf. This is absolute carnage, and it's not getting any better.
It is not getting any better. I do not know what is happening, but for whatever reason, these guys are just having a lot of trouble tonight trying to pull this thing up. Jason tried to come in down the inside of Ravazza and messed it up. The carnage up through the top between Albert and Bardas has let Manafort through, so he's actually got a good run. However, what you should be looking at is OGT is just sitting quietly behind. He's managed to let a couple of people go by him without getting into trouble. They've fallen off, and he's just sitting here in fourth place just waiting for it to all go out.
And you can see OGT there. He's kept to himself. We said this. We predicted this, Wolfie. He was sitting pretty after qualifying. I think he was in P5. I think he was after qualifying, but now he's up to P4.
That's right.
P5, and then now he's just sitting there, isn't he? Right behind Albert, looking very nice. That Porsche in pristine condition. Not a scratch on that thing. A little bit like my Honda Jazz. Absolutely in great nick. If anyone's out there and is interested, send me a message on Discord. But I've got to say that OGT, he's just preying on this top three to have each other off, as Alan Jones used to say. But Scott Jordanson, geez, I hope I've said that right. Bardas and Albert, go, go, go. And Voodoo says we've lost Cardi and Righty. So now we're down to 9 drivers. So I think, what do we got, 12 or 11 started this race? Only 9 are left.
Yeah,
They're dropping like flies at the moment, aren't they?
They are dropping like flies. They are starting to bunch back up again. So the top 4 is sort of spread out a little bit. I think they're probably just trying to take a breath and get their shit together. But that is allowing the last 5 to slowly bring their way up. Everyone seems to be dragging each other through. So 28 minutes to go. It's a long way to go. Certainly a long, long way still to go in this race. Scott Jordanson, I know you're there. He says, go Thunder. Now, Scott, just get that, if you're on your phone, head over to the KRL YouTube channel. Keep this playing in a minimized window, of course, and keep the volume right up and click subscribe, because you do not want to miss a minute of this action. You can see there on your screen, Scotty boy, Tier 2 on Wednesdays, Tier 1 on Thursdays. I almost bloody forgot there, but anyway, it is Bardas in the lead. Great to have Scotty along with us here tonight. We love everybody watching, of course. Big hello to you. If you're new to KRL, welcome. But with 27 minutes still remaining in this race, keep pushing Jace. That is the advice. Oh, Jace is around.
And so no, Tessa. Oh. And Tessa's put the Mozza on him because it's a curse. It's not the commentator's curse, because Jason now has had a moment and he's got Aussie Thunder for company. Yeah. So Aussie Thunder is going to be right up behind him here heading into the Ravazza, and Jason has just not been able to get his shit together tonight, Wolf, having issues.
Yeah, he had the issue before with the accident, and then he has had a little bit of trouble getting around trying to catch up. So I think that there's it's going to be an interesting race to see how this all winds up in the end.
Let's have a look. Binger going to have to wait for the new ball, and very nice there. Good old Binger, and very scary stuff, old Brett Lee, that's for sure. 9 laps completed. And we've got a few more to go, however many laps we can fit in the remaining 26 minutes of this one. But Bardas now with a handy little buffer here. As you see, Manafort through your screen in second place. There is Albert. And OGT dropping back a little bit here. But is he biding his time? Is he waiting? I reckon Albert's looking pretty pacey, though, of course. By the way, good pronunciation. And if you think that's good, Scotty, I've nailed Scott's surname. Have we given Scott an Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari? I don't think we have, but that's where we are racing tonight.
Now.
We have now. Not quite as good as the Circuit de Barcelona de Catalunya. To quote the great man Albert. And boy, that was, I don't have favourites, but gee whiz, what a weekend that was. Winning in front of the home crowd. Great stuff. But OGT fourth, of course, Jason Wilkinson, the man who has been having moments. Like we said at the top of our show, it's different, isn't it? Working your way through the field. compared to us streaking away at the front. So Jason still with plenty of work to do. Binger has now got past Aussie after Aussie had a mistake there. So once again, another driver seems to be struggling here tonight. We do not have any rain. We've been reliably informed, and let's just get back to the top three because it's all happening at the business end. And look at this.
This is where the slipstream kicks in through paddock 1, paddock 2.
First, second, third, all in your picture now. And Matterford looking very racy, heading back down to turn 1. He's a little bit behind there, but the slipstream is real, Wolf, and he's looking to just make a move here on Butters and to get into numero uno.
No, he's not made that, but Albert has caught up an immense amount because he's had the double slipstream essentially and has been able to get right up on the bottom of these guys.
And you can see now that I think that might be what's causing OGT to just fall back a bit from this lead trio because he's 4.4 seconds off of this battle, but do not go anywhere. There's a dozen people watching, and I want each and every one of you to stay fixated on your phones, tablets, or screens. You might even be watching it in the lounge room. I think that's what Wolfie's doing, because this is absolutely incredible. And
I've just kissed the wife goodnight, got myself a cup of tea, and I'm locked in.
Coming to bed, dear? No, I'm not Mrs. Wolf. Because it's Barters, Matterford, and Albert. This battle for the top three. You won't be going anywhere, Wolfie, I can tell you that, because look at this, separated by half a second.
This is fantastic. These guys are racing hard. OG's probably trying to settle down and get... With these three, when people are fighting ahead of you, it can do one of two things, which is... Obviously, the first one is on a circuit like this, they can slipstream and get that extra speed. On a probably tighter circuit, you're tripping each other up, and therefore people from behind can catch up to you. But these guys are really rocking it down that straight, and it's given them plenty of speed. And it's like NASCAR. It's just left OG out of the wind. He's got no one to sit behind, no one behind him to help with the drag. So he's got to hope that one of these fellas have a bit of an issue.
And we've also got to remember that every driver has made their pit stop. In fact, Aussie Thunder is making another pit stop. But look at this. Matterford now, he's getting very close. Don't forget about Albert then as well. It seems to be something about bronze-coloured, rose gold-coloured Porsches tonight, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3. And look at this, Barters now. And this is not a position that he's used to, of course. Much easier to chase than to lead, is the famous motorsport saying. Down to the Tosa hairpin again, and Matterford sticks it down the inside, and he's made a bit of a mess of that one, and that leaves Albert now to go through and take second place. Well, he made a right porridge of that, didn't he?
He did. He tried to go inside, and Albert did his usual outside trick, and it's just managed to make it work for him, and that has put Matty... I mean, Matty's not lost a lot of... He's lost a position, but he's not lost a lot of time, so... Give him a couple of seconds to, he might have sort of worn those tyres up a little too much. A little bit of calm down, and off we go again.
So Jason now right up behind OGT, who's now fallen 6 seconds further back from that lead battle. We might stick with the business end, Wolfie, because it's not showing any signs of slowing up there.
I'll keep an eye on Jace.
But we can see there Matterford, who went down the inside, and now Albert's had a bit of a mistake at the chicane, heading back down towards the Ravazza, and Matterford is through. So that is going to continue, I reckon, for the next 20 or so minutes of this race. Matterford tried to send it.
Yep.
And Matterford tried to send it, and Albert said, hola, which I think is Spanish, but it might not be. But Barters now, so normal service is resumed then. Lap 11 of this race. It still is Barters into lap 12, I reckon. Barters now first. So it's pretty much back where we started, back to square one. Look at this, Barters, Matterford right behind him, Albert now a little bit further back. Not quite as close this time around, but Barters, he must have sweaty palms in that Porsche. What is going through his mind, Wolfie? Not that I've ever been out front in a position such as this, but what is going through his mind at the moment?
Well, with the carnage going on behind you, you're trying to keep a decent lap, keep your line. At the same time, you're trying to defend and make sure nobody gets through on you. But with 20 minutes and a bit left, it's going to be a long and quite intense thought process that you'll be going through. You're just trying to keep your line and make sure no one sneaks in underneath you. And Jason's got past OGT, by the way.
That's you read my mind. Two great minds think alike. Wilco getting by OGT there, and he's showing He's having no issues, is he? Streaking away. So Wilco on a mission now. 20 minutes. He's got 6.5 seconds between him and Albert further up the road. But it's hard to take your eyes off this lead trio, I can tell you, Wolf, because 12 laps gone in this one, and Matterford is just so close with him, and I've just got a feeling. I've got a feeling about this. Matterford wanted a piece of the action, but now that's left him high and dry. And now Albert slow out of the Variante Alta, and now that's going to leave Albert saying, "Hola, taquiero." He's going to love that, because down the inside, Albert is going to make that move. It's a close shot there. We can't really see literally door to door. Thank you, Voodoo. It sure was. As Barters and now Albert up into P2, but the slipstream effect, Wolfie, the slipstream effect down the main straight. Matterford is not done with this one yet.
Absolutely not. And Matterford's car looks a little squirrely. I think Albert's fine, but I don't know how Barters' tyres will be going. These three boys are pushing really, really hard, so not real sure about how these tyres are going to last. I understand that, as I've said a couple of times before, after 10 laps they get a bit sketchy. But we're now 13 laps in, so we should be about lap 9 or 10 after everybody's gone into the pits. But these guys are pushing hard, so these tyres are going to be wearing a lot quicker than they would normally would.
And don't forget that Albert and Wilco did have their coming together, didn't they, a few laps ago? Thank you, Voodoo. So both of them have damage. And Wilco now is made up he's almost made up 2 seconds. So whilst these top three are squabbling, and like you said, Wolfie, they're going to be using up so much energy and so much of that tyre life, it's leaving Wilco basically in clean air to catch up to these three. So we might see Wilco on the back of this top three battle before too long.
But Wilco's got the same problem that OGT had, in that he's got no one to draft. He's got no one behind him to help nudge him along. So he will be chewing through his tyres as well, just trying to get up there. Now, where he's conditioned, the tyre condition, once he gets up behind the third place there, that's going to be a new game as well.
So it's going to be very close. Like you said, Wolf, these top three, they are squabbling, but they are getting that slipstream, which is worth a little bit heading into turn one. And you can see it's sort of like having almost like a DRS. They're sort of DRSing each other, aren't they, coming out of that final Ravazza corner and onto the main straight. Here they go again. You can see in the background Wilco, OGT not too far behind Wilco as well. Don't forget about OGT, the quiet achiever there. But Barters across the line into lap 14 now. And I'm worried, of course, because they made such early pit stops. I wonder how long are we going to see these tyres lasting? When are they going to start to go off the cliff? That's going to be interesting.
And I don't know if you can tell, but the track's getting a little bit shinier as well. It's now gone into optimum, but it's starting to get a little bit darker by the looks of it. So you can see that the lights of the cars are starting to show a bit more. That usually means the track gets a little bit cooler and a little bit slipperier.
You can see the lights having effect. The lights on the hill are blinding me. Thank you for that, Slim. But Barters now in first still. And he's controlling things, keeping a level head. It's not easy. Of course, in P1, the pressure is on. And let's have a look. Matterford now just getting a little bit out of shape there, but staying with it. Barters, Albert in the Barters-Matterford sandwich too. But Albert getting a good exit here up the hill. And is Albert going to have a go? I don't feel confident about this being a passing opportunity. Is Albert going to turn it into one, is the question here. But, gee, there's not many happy endings coming out of that chicane. Oh, Albert's gone a bit wide.
Oh.
Albert's gone wide. It's happening again. Wilco's getting closer. 2.7 now. We'll keep an eye on that. But Barters still leads this race. And despite everything...
Side by side in a Ravazza.
Side by side, they are racing together. You can see damage on Albert's door. And the camera angle not great there. But Matterford has gone. He's still in second place. Albert's going to have the draft as well. Punching a hole in the air, isn't he? And Barters doing that up in P1 for Matterford. Matterford doing it for Albert. And Wilco is just a little bit behind that as well. But 1.7 now. And, well, boy, are we set up for a finish and a half here. I tell you what, if Wilco gets on the back of this, what are we going to see? It's exciting enough.
Gone off. He's taken the four-wheel drive route through the through Turbo Low.
He's gone off to pay his respects to that statue of the great Ayrton Senna on the other side of that wall there. But Matterford still in second, and Barters. Oh, Matterford, look at this, as Bob Hoskins has said, two PR boys in the top three, good for the championship, of course, but are there any team orders? I don't know, but Matterford is, there was contact there. You can see damage on Albert's door. Jason, who was doing some four-wheel driving a moment ago, and he might be off to BCF, but now he's back onto the back of this battle, that's for sure. But Barters is absorbing the pressure, isn't he? He's 1.8 ahead now, so Matterford and Albert just making life a little bit difficult for themselves, Wolf, because they're squabbling.
And that's exactly right. The squabbling's also allowing Jason to catch up. And OGT actually is catching him as well, so they're probably slowing themselves down. See if I can have a look at the timed laps and see what we're doing, Trev.
So you do that. I'll keep watching this battle as Matterford, as Plum Boss, Big Bob Hoskins, hello to you. Still need Bob to head over, the suave Englishman who watches us from Perth. Bob Hoskins still waiting for him to come over and fix the sink and a few other things as well. I'm not sure whether we can say that it is 9:05 here in the Eastern States, but look at this lead battle. Barters is streaking away, as the great Murray Walker would say. Rest in peace, Murray, you absolute legend. But Albert then taking all of the curb and then some more to keep ahead of Matterford here, and Wilco's on the back of this as well. But Matterford is not giving an inch. No call to give, and Plum Boss 84 says, get the dogs.
Oh!
And Albert's off. Matterford's off as well, I think. But Wilco is through and up to second. It's not over for Wilco. Always tune in when I can. Unbelievable. And what did Murray Walker used to say? He will be absolutely furious. That's right. Yep. But Bob Hoskins says, always tune in when I can. And Bullseye Bobby, we love to see you. But Wilco is up to second. Wow. Where was he? He was down the back, wasn't he?
He was down the back.
So
he was down the back, and Albert's having a lot of trouble. OGT sitting right on the back of Albert, flashing his lights, getting in his mirrors. This will be great fun. These two guys had a little bit of a run-in at the practice race. Albert apologised for it, admittedly, but, you know,
so
what comes around.
Wilco was P9 after the safety car restart. Rest in peace, Albert, says Plum Boss. Tessa, her man Tess, is up into second position. That is right, and there's going to be some choice Spanish words inside that Porsche, the number 9 Porsche, because now he's got OGT right behind him. I don't know any swear words in Spanish, Wolfie, but there will be a few of them under that helmet right now.
Puta. I'm sorry if I've offended. Puta, I believe, is not particularly nice.
There's going to be a lot of puta happening at the moment if OGT gets I better check that before I start saying it. But OGT,
we've got that so wrong for sure.
Taquillero, I love this race. That means in Spanish a big hola and mucho gracias. He did send me a birthday message on Tuesday, but he won't be in a birthday mood at the moment because look at your man Tessa. This man is up into P2 and Matterford not too far behind him. This is an amazing finish to this race. It's been an amazing race. I better stop because I haven't got a lump in my throat, but I think I'm going to wake my daughter up in the next room. But anyway, lap 17 of this race, we just lost Binger. So Binger has gone. How many drivers have we got running? I think let's take a look at the...
We have 8.
8 drivers still running this race. I think 11 started, 8 are left. Right down to this man, Aussie Thunder. And, of course, we always like to take a look at the drivers lower down the order. And Nobby Nuts racing there in 7th. I do apologise to these boys at the back. They're not getting their stream time. But it's all been happening in the front. It's been impossible to take our eyes off it. But we do like to give the sponsors some airtime as well, don't we? Just to keep things... Oh, my goodness. Have a look at what's happening at the front. please, Wolfie, because Wilco, side by side, look at this. Into lap 18, 0.0, nothing between them, in fact.
Got the outside run, and here we go, hit the 200-metre mark.
And Barters is off.
Oh, no.
Barters is off. We've lost another one. Barters into the gravel trap at the Tamburello, and that sees Jason Wilkinson lead.
Jeez.
What incredible stuff. The man from Carrum Downs, who started on pole position, got involved in shenanigans at the start. He was down to P9 after the safety car. And guess what? He's in P1. Who's your driver of the day? It's, well, are we allowed to vote for Wilco? I'm not sure. We'll have to check that. But I've got to say that he is, he's not quite home yet, though, is he? Because Matterford is right up behind him, Wolf. 9 minutes to go.
OG's come around as well. So Shop Barters back into 5th, I believe. So I reckon Albert's got a fairly large amount of damage. So yeah, it's going to be on. Matterford will not give up this lead.
Matterford's not going to give up. 18 laps gone in this race. That's okay. We're back now. Sorry, I thought I was going to get the old blue screen. But anyway, Wilco now coming down to the Ravazza. 19 corners here. And you can see a little bit of damage on the front. I wonder how that's affecting Wilco at the moment. And, well, 9 minutes to go, like we said. So our tyre, is that tyre we're going to come into it? We'll have to wait and see. But look at this. He's going to be under pressure yet again from Matterford. The slipstream down the main straight here at Imola is very real at the moment. That gap a little bit bigger than what it was.
Look at Matterford catch up.
And Matterford, look at that, getting the slingshot down the straight. And Jason is off the track. What is going on?
Wilco's
and Matterford, Wilco's gone off. Matterford is through. And I wonder if he's getting a little bit of understeer. He looks to have some damage on that front left-hand corner of that Porsche. So I wonder whether that is what's causing the problems. But they're all going off, aren't they, at turn 1?
It won't be helping him, the damage that all these guys have got. Plus it's getting cold. The brakes, they're just trying to out-brake themselves, perhaps. I don't know, it's not gone well for them, though. But 8 minutes to go. Wilco hasn't lost that much time. He's less than a second behind. I think Albert's probably done his dash. I think third will be good for him. And Barters and OG seem to be settled. I think the rest of the field's settled, so it's probably the top 3. Matterford and Wilco have too much more of a battle. It'll give a chance for Albert to catch back up again.
Well, the top 3 now have gone down to 2. And we saw him creeping up. I reckon you're right about, I reckon Albert 5.4 seconds, 7.5 minutes or so in this race. It's too much of a mountain to climb, but Jason needs to keep his head down and concentrate here. Matterford's driven superbly. Every driver has made a mistake at some point or another. I'm just trying to think, has anyone not made a mistake? Wolf, it's been one of those races, hasn't it?
Everybody's gone around at some stage. Those first 2 accidents in the first and the first chicane there, and Tosa really messed the pack up. It's very, very weird. Jason's done a fantastic drive, but obviously with the off at the first corner there, he's either his tyres are gone, or he's got some aero problems, or his brakes are gone. But it's still tough. He's back up onto it though. He's
back up behind Matterford now. That gap just 0.2 of a second. 20 laps we have ticked over to. It was like a deck of cards, wasn't it? Got shuffled around. Matterford driver of the day, says GRT. Oi! And Matterford stick with this. 6 minutes, just 6 minutes now. 6.5. As Voodoo says, this is a tough track. Did you see that? Wilco, what is he doing? What's he doing there? Just weaving around. Was he trying to distract Matterford?
I think he's trying for a crossover, but Matterford came, put the left-hand tyre into the dirt before and didn't get enough speed into that corner. So, it's just tyres are going, the whole lot. These are probably very beat-up Porsches running around at the moment.
And it really is a race of attrition here. Voodoo says this is a really, really tough track. And he's not surprised with the amount of errors. Add to that a tough car too. Impressive effort from the drivers fighting this out to the finish line. I'm with you there, Voodoo says. I'm with you there, GRT says Voodoo. But Matterford now is, I tell you what, we're going to have some tired boys at the end of this one. And speaking of Prince Albert down there, 4.3 seconds is the gap. 5 minutes left still. It's plenty of work to do. And then I think those gaps are getting too big now, aren't they, Wolfie? Like we said before, 7 seconds back to Barta's OGT, 9 seconds, 7 back to Messick. Nobby Nuts in 7th, Aussie Thunder 2 laps down. They are all, well, the only drivers still remaining in this race, so points for everybody. That's right, points. Who wants some points down to Aussie Thunder there in P8? And Voodoo, who even put in a lap or a couple of laps as well. Do we give Voodoo a couple of points? I'm not sure.
If he gets points, I get points because I'm finishing 10th again.
I know. Was Voodoo? I don't think Voodoo's probably completed. What is it in Formula One? 70-something% or 80% of the race? I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll have to check the rule book once again. But Matterford now, 21 laps gone, under 5 minutes remaining. Do not go anywhere. But Voodoo, I think Voodoo wants those 2 points, but there we go. I think you can make a good case as well, Wolf. Another top 10 finish, Wolf.
Another top 10 finish. That'll be 3, and I don't retire unlike some of us.
I know. We'll have to check that out. But Matterford, speaking of which, Matterford at the front. 12 people watching this stream, and that is perfectly understandable because up here in the commentary box, this is showing no signs of slowing up. Because Jason, it just seems like a bridge too far at the moment. He doesn't seem like he can get a move done, does he, Wolf? I know that sounds strange, but...
No, you're dead right. I mean, if you keep an eye on Matterford's car, his rear end, as it were, everything's a bit sketchy on this at the moment. It's very loose, so he will be trying his hardest. Not only are you looking at making sure you get your braking markers, making sure you get your turn in right and hit your apexes and all that sort of stuff, but you've also got a red Porsche sitting in your mirrors, flashing in and out of it. I'm assuming Jason will start the light flashing and all that sort of stuff in a moment. So you're confident that you can't go, that Jason's not faster than you, but you've got to hope that you're better under braking than he is.
So don't look back, look forward, of course. Lap 22 now of this race. It's felt like it's been a bit of a marathon, hasn't it? It's almost felt like an endurance race at times, that's for sure. It's been a long one, but we've stuck with it, and we're glad. We're very glad that you have at home as well. But still not over by any means. No, my eyes are deceiving me. I thought I saw somebody off. There's a fair chance given the night we've had, but just a tick over 3 minutes remaining in this race, and like we just said, it seems that gap seems bigger than 0.6 of a second, and we do believe that Wilco must have some kind of a damage of some description, or possibly, like we keep saying, those tyres have just reached the end of their life. But either way, take nothing away from Matterford, Wolf, because he is putting that Porsche into all of the right places, isn't he? With
he has too.
1 or 2 laps maximum left in this race.
And it looks like Albert might have had a spin or something. He's dropped. He was 4 seconds behind this battle, and he's now 9.6. So he might have some issues because Bartas is catching up to him fairly quickly now. So maybe Albert's had an off somewhere. So he needs to... Oh, he's still got 2 laps. So Bartas might be able to catch up to him for 3rd place yet.
Well, I think it was the last lap, I think, coming out of the Ravazza. It looked like Albert...
yes. Albert's rear end is not as pristine as it was when he started, Trevor.
It's certainly... He's been up to... I shouldn't say he's been up to Mardi Gras, but it's not looking very nice at all, is it? But Albert there...
Jeez.
Well, he's still going to talk to us. He's still going to talk to us in the post-race interviews, or is he? Bartas is getting very close.
Not sure. Yeah.
Not sure about that. Hold that thought, because lap 23, we're going to head back to the front. It's number 1 versus number 88. If Matterford wins this race, surely he's got to be driver of the day. I know Wilco has come back through the field, but Matterford has just not put a foot wrong in difficult conditions here tonight at Imola. It's been a fantastic race. 23 laps gone, 23 degrees track temperature, 23 degrees air temperature. 100% says Voodoo. Matterford for driver of the day. And I've got to say, it's going to be hard to go past him. I think we're going to have 1 lap after this one.
Should be it. And
Yep.
Wilco's obviously had a moment as well, because he's dropped almost a second from Matterford. He's either had a moment or he's decided, I can't get by him, I'll let it go and secure second. But Bartas is getting right on the top of Albert.
No Glenn, of course, and who else was the Barters?
This will be fantastic for Barters. For Matterford in the points position. He's get a win when Glenn's not here.
Well, he's going to gain a full 25 points, isn't he? So,
absolutely, yep.
We've still got Wilco in second, so he'll be picking up 18 points. So that championship lead won't be an issue for Wilco with 4 rounds remaining in this championship. So maybe Wilco is playing that long game, Wolf. Maybe he's thought, you know what, it's no point risking it. He might settle for those points in second place and be thinking of the championship here.
Well, it's all about the championship at the end of the day, and Wilco will have almost a full race that he could not finish and still be straight up the top of the table there.
3.
Okay, here we go, Trev. I'll let you call the last lap.
1-0. That is it. So we are on the last lap of the race. The Universal Boss has let us know for sure. Wilco hopping over the curbs on that last turn, says Voodoo. So on lap 22, I beg your pardon. But this is where it's at. The last lap, 45 minutes of absolute adrenaline pumping through.
Oh, here we go.
And there's not many more opportunities left. Matterford holds that line. Jason has a look, but he's not close enough. He's a hell of a lot closer now than what he was on the last lap as we head up the hill for the final time here at Imola. And look at this, Wilco. Well, we said he was going to settle for second place, and now he's into the lead. What a move. What a move. Unbelievable. Get your votes in for driver of the day. I'm still on the fence about it. Let me tell you, what a move. He just got it done. But now Matterford.
That's right. Matterford's picked up on him.
Matterford's picked up the pace now. And this could end in tears. What's Albert doing back there? Barters could possibly win this race. It's all happening at the moment through the Variante Alta for the final time. And now the long run down to Ravazza 1. Jason leads this race with a stunning move to get by Matterford. Well,
this is it.
So much.
He's got it.
So much for talking about second place, and Matterford's around.
Matterford's gone round.
Matterford's gone. That's it. And then there was one. We're down to one. This man is the only one left standing. Stephen Bradbury style. He wins the race. Unbelievable move.
That's amazing.
What an amazing race we have witnessed here at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari at Imola. Incredible. Matterford finishes second. Either way you look at it. I know Matterford made a mistake, but Wilco got that move done, didn't he? Anyway, incredible.
He
so
did.
Barters finishes fourth. Albert limps home to finish in third. OGT in fifth. So that is where he started. Way back. Feels like an age ago, doesn't it? At the start of this race.
A very long time ago.
What a race. OGT, Messick in sixth. Nobby Nuts, we'll get to you in a minute, Wilco, but Nobby Nuts, we're waiting for the rest of them. Nobby Nuts in seventh, so not a bad result for Nobby Nuts. Good points for the Hot Nuts racing team. And incredible. Well, just when you think this championship cannot amaze you anymore, Wolfie, we see something like this. Aussie Thunder in eighth, albeit 3 laps down. And that is the end of this race. Incredible.
Wow, these boys will be well glad to be out of the rig, I think.
They'll be sweaty. They'll be over it, that's for sure. And I've got to say, as Albert joins the party, hola. But before we get to you, Prince Albert, I've got to say, Jason Wilkinson, take a bow. Because what a race, what a move on that final lap.
Yeah, first off, I want to say sorry to Albert. At the midway point of that race, I went for a move on Matty. He was defending hard and then just, went too hot. And at the last second, I'm like, shit, don't turn in. And then, so fucked up Albert's race there. Other than that, I don't know what happened at the start. What happened at the start on your screen? Because I was around and then I was in the wall and I was bounced off 2 cars, bounced off 3 cars, and then I had a minute and 20 of repairs and
From what I could see, it looked like the top 3 had an incident into the first chicane.
I got loose, and then I was trying to gather it up. And then
once everybody came back, once everybody tried to get back on the circuit, and there was a lot of scrabbling backwards and forwards, it all went to shit again at Tosa. And it was, I think, nearly everybody except for Messick had damage. Yeah. So it was a hell of a start to that race, folks.
Incredible. Well, there we have it. We've heard from our race winner, We're still trying to gather ourselves from that final lap. It's been absolutely incredible. 25 grueling laps. I don't know how long we've been on air for, but it's been absolutely fantastic as we go to Matterford. I tell you what, Wilco, that last lap has impressed everybody. We're getting the votes through now. Wilco, Matterford, so it's going to be neck and neck. We might have to do another
give
count.
It to Matty.
But Matterford, can you hear us there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep, so P2 in the end, things got pretty hectic there, mate, at the end.
Well, I think it was hectic the entire race, I reckon, for me. But, yeah, at the end, I think I saw Wilco dive down the inside. I thought, he's done another, gone a bit deep, so I thought he got a bit wide. I thought I almost had him in the inside, but lit the tyres up a little bit early. But, yeah, trying to keep him behind me. I was like, if anybody else other than Wilco. But, yeah, it was an intense race.
Good stuff, Matterford. Not too bad. Not the end of the world. I think you take second place in the Drivers' Championship. Not that you'll be thinking...
Was that a 6-hour race, by the way? Because it felt like it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It was getting close, but as we wait for... I think we've got Prince Albert now, who's joined the party. And Albert, big hello to you, mate. Third position in the end. You had a pretty interesting battle for most of that race, mate. But once again, it was a hectic one. Talk us through your race tonight.
Yes. Before the race, if you would have told me, would you take P3? Yes, definitely. But after seeing how the race was, I don't know. I guess I can't be too happy. I had lots of fun. Yeah, Wilco and me, we, I don't know, kind of liked each other, I guess.
You did nothing wrong, mate. That was me. I just...
Yeah, not sure about at the start.
Yeah.
I saw you got kind of loose, and then I got loose as well. We kind of collided, but yeah. But yeah, the second one at the last corner is, I just saw the last minute on my radar that you were there, and I don't know. Maybe we need to call the stewards? Not sure.
Give it a call.
All good. Yeah, I had lots of fun, so yeah, congratulations to Jason and Matterford. Yeah, well done.
And thank you, Albert, for that. P3 in the end. Things got a little bit difficult towards the end of that one, but taking P3 in the end. Gracias to you, Albert. Wilco taking the win. Matterford in second. Albert in third. Boy, I need a drink, I reckon. What do you reckon, Wolf? Thanks for joining us. It's been a bit of a marathon in the end, but what a race we have witnessed once again. KRL Thursday nights. It has been action right the way through.
It's been a fantastic race. A lot of carnage. It'll be well worth watching the replay to try and see. And also, if you are listening and watching us on YouTube, also subscribe to a couple of our drivers because they run in-car cams and various sorts of things, so you might see some things from different points of view as well.
That's right. We're right across it. Don't forget to subscribe to Voodoo as well, of course, who does all of those beautiful graphics at the top of our show, and the graphics on your screen, as you can see, the overlays, etc., etc. Tier 2 Wednesday nights, Tier 1 Thursday nights. Thank you, Wolfie. Thank you for joining us for another week. Great stuff.
It's been a pleasure.
Big pleasure to everyone. Thank you to everyone for joining us. Don't forget, thank you for getting your driver of the day votes in. OGT, Tim McKenzie, everybody. And there'll be someone will be happy as well. Tessa, of course, who joined us. Bob Hoskins, Plum Boss, he was with you right the way through. Scott, wherever he was from. Cart Dude went off to play FIFA. Nemo's in better sleep. But thank you to everyone for joining us. Don't forget, the championship continues. We roll on to next week, round 7.
Spa.
At Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Another classic circuit for round 7 of this championship. Next Wednesday, Tier 2. Tier 1 on Thursday nights. Be kind to one another. Stay safe. Do all that stuff. It's bye for now. Ciao.
Oh, man. What a fucking race.
Mamma mia.